and welcome to the Healing Path series, Easing Through the Holi-Daze. Uh, I am the founder of the Healing Path Conversation series and Dancing with Ease Body Brain Balance. People hire me to teach them to move out of pain and into healing. We all have pain of some kind or another at different times in our life. And the purpose of the Healing Path Conversations and these little short talks is to offer some new perspectives on healing and how you can step into healing on your own in a moment, because healing happens. The caveat is it doesn't always look like we imagine it's going to look, and it doesn't always feel like we imagine it's going to feel, but it's always happening. And sometimes we're aware of it, and sometimes we're not. So today I put on the thing that probably for the next several days we would talk about rest, realignment, and reflection. And why would we need to rest? Well, in my opinion, the whole lead up in the US to the Christmas holiday is filled with frenzy. Things you have to get done. You've got the lights on your house. You've got to get the wreath. You've got to get the tree. You've got to decorate the tree. Just. And they're all fun things. And if you enjoy them and you have fun doing them, that's great. If you have to do them and you have to do them by a specific time, that can be a lot of pressure. Then there's the gifts. Then for me, there is the gift, the idea of what is a real gift. What is a meaningful gift? For me, time spent with somebody, that's the most meaningful gift. Whether we're going to coffee together, going to a movie together, going to a concert together, or just time to talk on the phone. People are so busy that if they set aside some time to communicate with me in real space, then that's really an important gift to me. In my family, everybody pretty much has what they need. And so then, or the new things you need, like if they need a new stove, okay, that's a big deal. They got to pick out the stove. It's got to work for them. It's got to work in their kitchen, the whole thing. That's not a Christmas gift level that we would give to each other. And it's not necessarily practical. At this point, nobody needs more stuff. We have plenty of stuff. And the stuff clutters up the house. And so it clutters up your time. So kind of resting for me from all that pressure. And resting from what I do when confronted with that pressure. Because when confronted with that pressure, then I have to come back to myself. And I feel it building up again, and I have to come back to myself. Or I get to come back to myself. Or I choose to come back to myself. Because when I'm centered in myself, I can let all that frenzy whoop around me like wind. But it doesn't have to come into me, and I don't have to become frenzied in response to the frenzy around me. I can use the frenzy around me to calm down. Now, the next thing that we might want to do on realignment is the holidays are filled with all kinds of special food. One of my special foods, crazy as it is, eggnog. I love eggnog. I don't know why, but I do. And I have my grandma's recipe, and I now know somebody who raises chickens. So my next thing before New Year's is to get some fresh eggs and make real eggnog in my house on my own, instead of commercial eggnog, which comes with a lot of additives to it that make it not so great for you. So now look there. I have added more work to my schedule. Get the eggs, make the eggnog, whip it up, the whole thing. But that's okay, because it's something I enjoy doing, and it's more in alignment with my values to make the eggnog from natural ingredients and real eggs as opposed to a commercial eggnog. So, what, when you're resting, what is going to help you realign after some feasting and some stuff that you did for the holidays? Did you have too much rich food? Do you need to eat a calm diet? Maybe some rice, maybe some really simple things for a day or two to let your body deal with all of that rich food. One of the things that often happens is everybody makes some kind of fancy casserole instead of just plain vegetables on the holiday. And, in a real life, every day, you would just make some vegetables. You wouldn't necessarily put a cheese sauce on them. You wouldn't put cream in them. You wouldn't add all that richness, which historically was really useful because in the winter it requires more energy and fuel to stay warm. But we all live in houses, pretty much. Not everyone, but a lot of people live in houses with central air, and we're not working outdoors doing heavy labor. And so we don't need those extra calories to survive the cold in the winter. But it's tradition. So we can have them, and then we can restore. And the thing about restoring is that it's your body will tell you what it needs to restore. Does it need to nap today to deal with all of the impressions of all of the people you saw and all of the energy and all of the good times or bad times, depending on how it went? Because we know that the holiday churns up things and that things can start out good and go off the rails, or they can be off the rails and they can come back on, but still all that energy is there. But your body will tell you what you need to do to give it some time to realign. And part of that is listening. That's a reflection. So if I say, okay, well, I had these desserts. I had desserts more than I normally have desserts. I don't make desserts in my own house because I love sugar and it's just easier if I don't make them. So if I go to my family and they have sweets, and so I have them. And so then I know to restore myself by how I feel, I need more protein for the next few days to rebalance my body. It's not an instant out of balance and an instant back in balance. It's a process. And so that's where your reflection comes in. What works for you? What does your body say it wants? Is that a real want, or is that a habitual want because you got off your schedule and you had coffee and cinnamon rolls for breakfast for 2 or 3 days in a row? And so now this morning your body wants cinnamon rolls. Give it some protein. It'll thank you. Pay attention. Reflect on what happens. And you can start to build a recovery from the holidays plan that suits you and your body. So we'll talk a little more about this for the next couple of days because in my mind, as I said, this is a process of recovery. It's not not a magic pill you can take. So take good care of yourself, nap if you need to, and I'll see you tomorrow.